support your channel in more ways. God, much of it. Okay, dokie. Funny, being such a small channel. Support your channel, they say. So what we got going on today? Good morning, everybody. Pardon the random muttering. What we got going on today is a block of walnut. And this block of walnut has been through the ringer. So we had some ring shake that let go. And cracks in it are really interesting. I'll take some cream cheese. Haha, breakfast. The breakfast of champions. So what we got going on is we got this walnut. And what we're going to do is we're going to process it down into spoons. I don't really trust it for bowls because I'm not so sure how far that crack has gone around. But let's process it down. These spoons are going to be billet spoons. So billet spoons means that what we're going to do is we're going to split our blanks out of it. We're not going to take it from a branch. Kind of like this guy. We can get a couple ladles, or at least one ladle from him for sure. So this is bent spoon carving. This is billet. So we start from a rough block of wood, and I always start here at the pith. I got a process where I'll split the pith, and if you do it right, the pith is always on the corner. And in bowl carving or bowl turning or whatever, if you split it out so that the pith is on the corner, it's being removed every time. Split it. Boom. Use the for leverage. Since working any harder than you got to, it's hard enough work, and the pay isn't all that great until you start selling stuff. So get that in the sun. There we are. Nice piece of walnut. That pith, that pithy wood, you'll see it hopefully. Let's knock that down some more. The pithy wood is right here. So we've got a plane going through. We got a crack going this way. So let's go ahead and take it and let's split it. One thing I want you, the viewers, to notice is that the pith is right in line with the end of the split that popped off. So we're going to split it right in line with that. Morning, puppy. So we're going to do this. We're actually going to right there. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. So this guy here is, you'll see your pith is right there on the center. And if we split a spoon blank out of this, if we split it here, all of this, all of the bad wood is coming off. All the wood that you want to get rid of. So with this method, if you're watching, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this method. Because this method puts the pith and all the wood that you want to get rid of on the corner where you will get rid of it every time. And it also saves on wood. So if you're in an area where wood is tight, you don't always have access to it, such as the condition here, and you want to make the most of it, this is definitely the method. So now, what I want to do is I want to make this into a quarter split billet. And this billet is wider there than it is here. So what I want to do is I want to make cooking spoons. So the width here is going to do really, really well for cooking spoons. And I need about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4. Boom, boom. And I'm going to flip it because now this side is the width that we want. There's 2 cooking spoons. And then this guy here, if you do it right, you get a triangle. So what this triangle is going to be is a spoon of our choice. So we have 2 billets we have 3 billets from less than a quarter of that piece of wood. So that's 3 spoons to be worked on. And then here's the other piece of that. And what I'm going to do is process this down so we can make spreaders and stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll just split him again. Always start in the center, work your way out. Tap, tap, tap. Don't have to work so hard because it is a fur after all. And a break would be nice, especially with this walnut. But if you don't have it, use your knee like this. Put your knee against there, grab both ends of the fur, pop. And your knee becomes the brace. Bam! We're going to split him down one more time. Boom, 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 boom. When I get done with the live brace. Boom. Got that popped out. Angel's right here at the corner. Angel. She's like, what you got? What you got? Another day at the office. And then this guy can make coffee scores because he's that nice. But and you can also use your hand and do what I just did there too. So these can go into small coffee scoops. You know, you'll get 4 or 5 out of them. And that, well, you might get 3 or 4 out of that, depending how bad the wood is cracked up. And that was the small piece. This here is the big boy. So this is where we're going to get a lot of our stuff. Now, the crack here, the pith here, is very, very interesting because now it's almost in the center. And this is a very wide piece of wood. So this is going to give you a lot of spoon material. So we're going to split it again in the center of that pith. Always in the center of that pith, wherever it is at in the log. If it's off center, so be it. Boom. If you split it with the pith and in the pith, you maximize your wood. So, and again, the pith is on the corner. So all the wood that we're going to remove carving the spoon, that's going to be gone. That ain't going to be there. And that log hit that piece of wood. That piece of wood hit the camera. Let's get you readjusted. There we go. So now we have a very interesting situation in this wood. We got grain going quartered this way, and we got grain going quartered this way. So what I'm going to do is, because I don't want that pith or that pithy wood, I'm going to split off the spoon length here, and I know it should be pop. Use anything as you can as a brace. And remember, this is the wood that you would otherwise throw away because it's not stable, it's not good. But all the wood that we're going to carve a spoon that we don't want is right here out. The rest of this can be used for a spoon. So we will go another go to right where it changes, right there, smack, split off, boom. And now we're going to go the opposite way with him. But with this guy, we can get another spoon, couple of spoon blanks out, spoon blank, boom. And crack is trying to run out. So what we'll do is we'll brace, pop, and encourage the crack to stay in that one growth ring. And these are basket making techniques crossed with spoon carving. So it comes in very, very handy to learn other trades, especially basket making, because basket makers have a lot of techniques that are really able to work well with spoon carving, like being able to use a froe, knowing how to split wood, how to cleave it, all that wonderful jazz. So we're going to go ahead. That one piece of wood is going to give us 3 blanks, and you'll see that crack is in that ever so nicely. So what we'll do is pop, boom, ha. And now here's that piece of wood. Are you keeping track of how many spoon blanks we're getting out of this thing? Of boards prepared that are ready to be turned into spoon blanks. Are you keeping track? Because this is about half of that log by the time we get this worked out. So the grain is changing now to where it's going to go flat. Mind you, I like to quarter my billets. So I like seeing the flex, I like seeing the grain. I love the way quartered works. And then also the other reason why I like quartered wood, making sure that it's quartered, and quartered means that the grain is going straight up and down as much as possible. So this piece of walnut is quartered. You can see the growth rings in it. What I love about it is you got all the strength of the wood. So if you was to flip it around and you was to carve a spoon this way, you're actually cutting into those fibers and you're severing the strength. Flip it over, you got the whole running string of fibers to keep it strong. So you got more strength per piece of wood by quartering it like this. And you're also encouraging it not to move, because quartered wood is the most stable wood out there. So you're cutting down your chances of cracking, you're cutting your warping down, and with this wood being mellowed, meaning that it's been out in the sun for a bit, and you'll see it here in this piece of wood right here, or you'll see it here that the bark, take a look. Let me just move the camera. And you can see it in this piece of wood right here. Yeah. You see how that bark's just coming right off? So this piece of wood's been sitting out in the sun, accumulating and acclimating, not accumulating, my apologies, but it's been acclimating in the weather. And it's been in full sun, which means that we're going to have some of this wonderful rocky, what I call rocky road walnut. And that's when all this coloring starts to happen in the sapwood. And I think it's partially because, and Sean, brother, if you watch this, if Huron Spoon Carve, I hope I pronounced it right, but if Huron Spoon Carver Company sees this, I think you're right, brother. I think it's coming from the tannic acid, but from the sap, because you can see right there is right where it's at its wettest. But I also think it's coming from the bark, from the cambium. I think that as everything gets adjusted from the way that this is coming down into the heartwood, I also think it's the cambium. I think it's the sap and stuff and the tannic acid that the walnut carries in the cambium causing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this down. We should be able to get 2 billets more. And if you don't have a wooden club, you know, a dead blow works just as well. So get this back. Everyone likes to see the wood being processed. Split. Just lever that fur down and then chop. And all the fibers are taken care of. And there's 2 really nice blanks for some really nice cooking spoons. There's no cracks. It's perfectly quartered, so it's going to be stable. And with it being stable, and me selling my spoons, because I do this for a living, as y'all are aware, but as I carve this down, as I sell it, this is in its most stable form, and it's also in its strongest form. So I want that for my clients. They deserve that. So as you're using the spoon and it's soaking up and it's going through the process of wet and dry, this is already at its most stable from the start. So I've got this nasty surface right here. I can clean that up with an axe, but you know why clean it up with an axe? Make more shavings when I can just pop and I can lever that off, and then whatever is left will get worked off with the axe. But that's material I didn't have to waste away with the edge of my axe. So there that is, and that also shows us how well the wood is actually holding together here, because there's no major splits, no major cracks. It's not pulling apart. I can't pull it apart. There's no cracks going through here. There's no cracks at all in here. So what's going on here might have just been damage, might have just been a bit of ring shank that ends right here. But as we further refine this piece, we'll know, and this will be our telltale markings. So now here we got this piece. This is the rest of that log. I'm gonna have to go get more wood here before long. When you're a carver and you carve down more wood than you can get. But that's okay. They're cutting more as we speak. So these are end cuts off of a local sawmill. So all the wood I'm getting right now is from a sawmill, and they allow me to go and get their end cuts. So I'm taking their trash and I'm carving my treasure out of it, which are spoons, bowls, etc. I'm doing my bodgering thing with them. And you can see it's beautiful wood. Really good wood, a lot of wood to be used. It's just, you got to know how to work it. So we got our pith wood here again, and I'm debating how I want. I'm not sure I want wide spoons, but I'm going to get a wide spoon regardless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here where that grain changes. I'm not worried about staying exactly in the middle. Everyone tells you with furrows, work in the middle, but I'm also a basket maker, and I know that's not always as easy as that. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for that grain to change, and I want to get as much of the quarter material from this side of it at this width possible. And if I do it right there, what I have here is going to be roughly what I want for these over here. It's weird how it works out. I'm not a mathematician, I can't explain it. We got that nasty saw mark going all the way through the heart, all the way through the pith sapwood. No, I'm not going to do it. We can work that out. So we're going to get some spreaders from this guy. So we'll pop a little bit more of that off right there. Boom. All right, we'll just pop right on off. All right. So come here, split this down, be gentle, pop, split that off. Got two more blanks, and this guy is the bit where that pith was at the corner, but he'll make a lot more. He'll make more spreaders, little butter knives. We'll just split them down. Butter knife. Flip them over because the green, will follow here. Press down. Keep up. Flip it over. Bam. And we cause that piece of walnut to follow the crack. again, learning how to process, how to split the wood effectively. Always want to learn how to split this stuff down. We're working with wood. We're not telling it what to do. We're asking it. I'm asking this wood to please work. So here we go again. He's taking the dive. Press. Scoot up. Press. Scoot up. Boom. And you'll see he followed that growth ring from where he dived. Y'all are going to geek out over all the wood here when we get it done. Split, split. It's diving. Ba-boom. Ha-ha. Now, I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show you just exactly how much wood that gave us. And I'm not even through with it. That's a good couple of days of carving. So with that, I'm actually going to go on ahead and get some stuff and get going. So let me show you how we process down. I showed you how we process our wood. So let's pick out a couple of pieces because now we're going to be carving. Boom. Got a couple spoons. And with these blanks, you can put them in water, you can put them in a tub, you know, soak them down, let it be. Oh. But now, let's get the chopping block ready. Can you see? There we are. There we go. So these are our tools. The adze is going to come in handy. It was wet last night. So here's our piece of wood. We have a knot right there, right through here. You'll see it right there and right there. And it is a knot. It's not a nail. Let's take the bark off. This bark didn't quite slip. But we'll get that off. Carve's good. It's got a nice crunchy, it's got a nice soft crunchy feel to it. Hard to explain. But look at that. Beautiful wood. Beautiful wood. So let's take waste away what we know we don't want in the spoon. Waste it away. Boom. Boom. And of course, you know, I don't use reference marks, so this year is just going to be a typical cooking spoon. I've carved thousands of them. Probably going to end up carving millions more, if not thousands more. But I've carved enough of them out where I don't do cutouts anymore. I don't do, you know, the marks. So each one is unique. Each one is different. Each one is suited for one person and one person only. Grip and everything. I say that, but there's a lot of people who fall in love with a particular spoon and don't get it. But I don't do any marks on there, but I can see what I want to be the spoon. So if you want to, draw your marks. Not saying drawing marks is bad, not saying it's unprofessional. There'll be a lot of professionals out there that say not drawing your marks is extremely unprofessional and would probably run me up and down one way, one highway, and then the other for not drawing marks on here. But I get a beautiful spoon. So if you draw your pattern out here, do your saw cuts if you do saw cuts, and then you can split this stuff off and get spreaders. That's a very, very good way to use up extra wood or to have more wood to work with. But I'm not going to do that right here because I got this knot right there. So I got this knot coming over. So if I make spreaders out of him, that knot is going to weaken the spreader right there, and I don't want that. So I'm just wasting that away. So where I want the bowl of the spoon to be is right here, and I'm thinking right here is going to be the top, so the crank is going to be like that. And what I'll do is just come down like this. Now, mind you, we've not trimmed the end of the wood off, so it's still saw cut from the it's still saw cut from the sawmill, and it's been out in the weather. So we're going to come back an inch or two, boom, da boom, da boom. And for a size comparison, here's the other piece. So you see we came down about 2 inches real quick. So coming down those 2 inches will help ensure that you have no cracks. It will expose any cracks in there. And you can see by looking at this, there's no cracks, none, zilch, zero, nada, which is what I like. So now, let me show you the easiest way to do a crank. And this is a way that I discovered years and years and years ago. And I can't say I discovered it, I rediscovered it because it's an older way of doing it. And this is where the adze comes in really, really handy. So if you want to, draw out your side profile. If you have to see it, draw out your side profile. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the adze and we're going to come back about 3 or 4 inches and start adzing it out. And right there's the beginning of a crank. We're going to go a little deeper. I don't want to go too deep. This is a cooking spoon, not an eating spoon. You okay, baby? Awesome. Just asking. Just chop that down. Good. And you'll notice that it's going to pull a little bit off here at the end, but you're always refining. So you just never going to, we're going to get rid of that. That's not a concern. What matters right now is the crank. And you see, we've got a little bit of crank point. So there's that tool. If you want a crank, that is the easiest way to make a crank and to keep it from splintering out, making cracks come up the shaft. There's a lot of people that'll carve that the tip of the axe will dig in to the crank coming in and accidentally start a split or a micro split here in the shaft, and then it causes critical failure. Again, I make these to sell, and we'll be adding these onto our website here before long. So Watching Bigfoot's going to finally get its own website. So, but anywho, if you find that interesting, go look for it. We're going to have it up and running here in the next couple of months, and I'm just making product to put up on there. And while I'm doing that, I'm teaching you, the viewer, or you, the beginning spoon carver, the tricks that I've learned that help make a much better spoon. And I'm not saying everybody's spoons are bad. There's a lot of wonderful spoon makers out there, people who know what they're doing and will teach you right. There's a lot of different ways to carve a spoon. That's just what I'm doing. I'm showing you the way that I have learned. Not the way that I was taught, but the way that I've learned. So we're going to flip this around, and we're going to take that little nip off, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The tip of the axe loves to cut down in there. So as you're trimming that close, you could hit that, and with wood this straight grained, you could bust it. And then, of course, you can come back with the ads. I got a little bit right there in the center. But again, that's just personal preference. That's just keeping it looking nice, neat, professional, nice and tidy. But in the end, it's all coming out. All of this is going to be a bowl. So, I'm going to come back with the axe. I'm just going to shave this little bit down. And now, mind you, be careful of how you do this, because this is the bit that affects your crank. Cut too much off, you'll level it back out and have to go deeper. There we go. And that, there we go. That is a beautiful crank done in a spin blank. Very, very quick. Very, very easily done. So, come back. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. That popped off. Throw that in the fire pit. Boom. Boom. And this here is going to be one of my asymmetrical spoons. So we strive for an even shape all the way around, but this part of the bowl is higher than this part of the bowl. So it's a weird thing I like to do. It helps set it apart. It's just my way. If you don't like it, if it trips your OCD, then it trips your OCD. We're just going to shave. I'll show you our TikTok viewers. Very easy trick. Put your axe there and, you know, tap it down, split it off. And you can either do that with your hand. A thick piece of wood like this, I wouldn't suggest it. Just use a mallet, put the tip of the axe where you want it, and then boom. Nice and easy. And once when you start a crack, follow it out. Don't pull it out and not get it, because it will still be there. And here's the part that gets really, really dangerous. That's why a lot of people tell you to do your saw cuts. So you got your pattern, you got your saw cuts, saw cut, wherever you want that bowl to be. And this is why you do that, because if you keep chopping and the wood gives way, because remember, the grain is going this way. We are using quartered wood, so that means that this is going to be very easy to split with our tools if we're not careful, with our axe most notably. So we don't want to put that where it can cause a lot of damage or split. So I'm going to hook the end of this over the block and go chop. I want to leave enough in here to retain strength. So the rule of thumb that I have learned with bowls, spoons, all that, is to use the rule of thirds. So I want to use a third of the width of this bowl for the shaft of the tool, and that'll give it adequate strength. Boom, 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 boom. We'll split that off, and there's that knot again. That knot, we gotta be careful working with it, because it can dive, it can go, it can do a lot of unexpected things. Especially when you're learning, when you're beginning, it's very, very unexpected. Boom. Did you decide you want to spend time with me? You're going through your Jimmy dirt.
I am.
Awesome. Did you get water?
Yes and no. I got this. The sand's actually really dry. And so what I'm going to do is what's attached to the rocks,
So you're going to go through it dry and pick out all the rocks? You're going to cheat.
I'm shifting out all the sand, putting it in the bottom of this bucket.
Well, I don't blame you for not using water. It is 40 degrees out here. walk it over, boom, boom. So my wife is going through a gym dirt that we got at the Croissant. So Croissant Gold Mine, if you're watching this, much love, big shout out, big thanks. You made my wife's day. So we're going to remove. So now what we have is we have a fairly two-dimensional piece of wood. We're going to go through next and hog away material that's not handle worthy. And you see how we've processed that knot. If we do it right, that knot will be just barely recognizable. But we want to leave enough grain around it to keep it strong. So that's the rule of the game here, to leave enough material around the knot to keep strength. And if we can remove the whole knot and the material over here be strong, then we're doing good. And I think we can do that. But if not, we'll use a bowyer's trick. When you're making a wooden bow and you have a knot like this in a limb, you always leave extra material around that knot, and that'll give the wood flex. Chunk of knowledge there. So, bubble, bubble, bubble. There we go. So we'll have, I think we can get away with it. Let's try it. If not, it'll break. Chop down, chop down, chop down, chop down. Sorry for blocking. Chop down. Should have put the camera on the other side. Chop, chop. But y'all got the overview, so there we go. The knot's gone. It is now a two-dimensional form, and I can be a little more picky by putting it right here. Ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. Ha. There we go. I'm getting pickier in my old age. I used to never care if it was exactly square or not, but now I kind of got it. I now kind of care. And I don't know why, because it's all going to get shaved off with the axe. There we go. So, see, fairly nice and straight. So we're going to take the knife, clean it all up. But now, we're almost to that point. So we have a two-dimensional piece right now. So we have the dimension from the aerial view, and we have the dimension in the side view. So we did the aerial view, we did the side view, we came in, we made the crank, we leveled out the handle, we left this piece here for support, and we chopped off the end. So we chopped off the end, did the crank, left this back here for support. That accomplished our beginning of the side view. And now we have our aerial view, our top view. We chopped it in. We got plenty of material here to hog off to work with the knife. We've got the shape of the bowl, roughly. So now we need to take it and make it three-dimensional. So we're going to take that three-dimensional. All this, see this corner of wood right through here is wood that's just not need to be there. It's waste wood. So we're just going to take the axe, boom, 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 chop, 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 done. So now we have a third dimension where we're putting that spoon to shape.
So it was one of those, have you ever had a dream where you thought you were awake?
Boom.
So I thought
So there we are. And now we take the axe. Angel.
What? What are you doing? You barking at me?
Chop, chop, chop.
Are you barking at me? You want to come in? Huh? You can come in.
And doing with this with knife is so much easier, but there it is. So let's break out the knives.
Baby. It's okay. Go by.
Here's the one I did
Girl.
yesterday on our TikTok live. So if you're watching and you're on TikTok, I go live more often on our TikTok than I do here. And on our TikTok channel, none of the lives actually get saved. So if you're on TikTok, I try to go live 3 or 4 times a week or so. So I'll be going live on TikTok again this weekend at a craft show. So, you know, if you like us and you like learning how to carve spoons, come on over to our TikTok channel, because our YouTube channel is a whole mix of everything from gold prospecting to this. It's just all of our outdoor mountain activities. So we got our spoon knife. We got that spoon knife. We got that spoon knife. This guy I need to get sharpened up. Here's the other one we did too on our TikTok. And then here's one of the knives. So we're going to be turning this into a slightly larger version of that and slightly longer. So you see we got the shape that we want to. I can probably knock off some more here. You know, I don't like such an accentuated edge. I like it to be a little softer. That way you have a little bit more time in the pan. You know, it covers more of the pan rather than you're like trying to spear something with the tip of it. This here utilizes the edge and most of that edge. So you start and you get in there and do all your stuff. So same thing with this guy. This guy's got a very soft, accentuated edge, but he's got a little bit more curve to him. So, you know, you can get in there and use him, but he was a funky one. He was a weird one, but he's worked out quite nicely. We got a little bit more turning to do on him, and we'll be done.
Anyway, so I was in the seat, and he gets up, he comes over, and he's wearing a baseball cap, which makes his nose look funny. It doesn't, it makes him look like
Makes my nose look funny.
it makes it look like he's wearing a prosthetic.
Prosthesis.
Yeah, it makes it just.
My
No.
nose.
Yeah.
I am wearing a prosthetic nose in your drink.
Well, it looked like that because of the way the hat is on your head.
I love you.
Hey, after all, it's just a dream.
Better
And
than the
I was
one.
like, you look funny. And then he pulls the hat like almost all the way down his eyes, kind of like how Sam wears his do-rag.
Oh, Sam, she's talking about you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, he wears his do-rag too low over his eyebrows. Oh. And then he smiles at me, and he just starts to
She
shake.
closer.
And that's when I laugh, and apparently that's when he goes, "Are you laughing in your sleep?" Which is actually how I actually woke up. Yeah. You look like a wannabe white kid rapper.
Eminem, watch out. I'm coming for you.
No more like those stupid fanboys on TikTok.
All right, y'all. I don't know who she's talking about. So, do our chest lever cut. Chest lever, you pop it like that. And we'll use our long blade for the chest lever.
And he was going through.
And pull out the gold that they unwittingly put in there.
And it was dry stuff, so you might actually get more than what we think you might.
Ooh.
Because it was dry, it wasn't wet like it was recycled stuff.
Ooh, that speaks my language there, lady.
Yeah, I know.
So we got that started. And this way works too. If you're comfortable with this way, but this way puts a lot more strain in your elbow. So you'll feel it most notably in your elbow, through your forearm, down into your wrist. So if you decide to do this and do this regularly, do your stretches, press your arms, give your fingers plenty of flex, 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 twist, twist. Make sure you keep your joints limber. Take care of them, because this is what like I said at the beginning, this is what I do for a living. My living depends on how well my hands are. Not just my hands, but my body, my back, everything. So with that in mind, using your chest lever like that in place for this is a little bit better. It's a little slower, but this is better because you're actually pulling in your arm. If you can see, you're pulling in your arm and you're using your chest to push out. And what that does, using your chest to push out like that and popping it, relieves a lot of the tension, a lot of the stress through here. And you get to carve a tad bit longer. It's just a little slower. And then you can also do a chest pull. That's when you take the knife, you hold it steady, and you pull this piece of wood just like that. It's not really chesting it out, because we're here at the point to where too much force as we get thinner can actually split that, and we don't want to split that. That's the downside of using quarter wood for this, is that if you drive an edge in there, you can split it off. You don't want that. So be careful. Alright. Bubble, bubble, bubble. So there's that pole. So we're just going to come back, trim this, and then it's too big of a blade for what we got. So we'll do, take this, bubble, 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 boom, bubble, and we've given this part shape. So we've got the angle that we want, we've got the shape that we want. So we'll come here, come up from the top, because we got some of that ratty tear off. Remember from the ads, that's not a big deal. We'll just shave that down. And we want as much artistical freedom possible, at least for me and my spoons. I want as much artistical freedom to shape this piece of wood however I want to. So when I rough end stuff, I never take it very far. I get it close to the shape I'm wanting, and then I always do the refining with the knife. And that just helps to ensure that I get exactly what I'm looking for, that I'm not getting close to what I'm looking for. It helps me refine it down with the knife to exactly what I'm looking for. And spoons, oftentimes I just keep going and going until it looks like it's done. So we'll just roll that right in there, just like that. And then here's where I don't mind, because I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm not out to see how big of a shaving I can take. It's just a little bit of refining, a little bit of cleaning up. And then go pop. And then go pop. Get that down. And we just want to take it so that all the fibers are severed. Boom. That's the inside of the cut where the shoulders meet. That clean. Nice and clean. So now we want to get rid. So we started making it 3. Oh, my phone died.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too.
You have to do, right?
Yeah. Aha. Sorry about that, y'all. Phone decided it was going to die. I forgot to hook the battery up. So do that. Stupid mountain men technology crap. Yeah, mountain men have to have this much technology. Oh, well, at least we get ourselves out there a little bit more. I figured out how to save it. My phone was almost dead. It came close.
So what'd you do? No, you're supposed to come eat.
But I need to carve spoon. I need teach world way of spoon carving.
You can, but you need to eat too.
I can do that after I teach world. Everyone needs to know how to carve spoon, not know how to eat bagel, unless it's eating a bagel with the spoon you just carved.
You don't eat bagels with spoons.
What do I need to carve?
You know what? I'm just gonna go put it in the house, in the refrigerator.
I love you. So before we almost died there with uh, the live, we need to retake. And now that we're making this three-dimensional, we just need to further keep taking off corners because we're now going to be making corners only to take corners off. So we'll take this corner. We'll just clean that in there. And then we'll just allow that to go all the way. Because that's this whole corner. Follow it out all the way. Snap that off because that's way too wide of a handle. Don't want to abuse that blade. So we got a crack. Let's put the blade in there. Put the big boy in the top.
I am watching a television show called Scorpion.
It's about a guy who goes out into the desert and he loves to collect scorpions.
No.
And then he takes them home and he intentionally plays with them until they bite him.
No.
Are you sure?
Why would you tell my father that's what I'm watching?
That's what you told me.
When?
Was I sleeping when you... Was that a dream? I love you so very, very much. Please don't kill me. We are not praying mantises.
You're alive. The thought that wants to come out right now is not nice.
Nip that down a little bit right there. Okay, I will quit antagonizing you then, my lady.
Basically, Scorpion is about geniuses who help the FBI solve certain problems. And right now, the master is a big military man, and they're about to burn to death in a fire.
All right, so right here's where that knot was. We're not going to force it. The wood wants to do what it wants to do there. So now I'm going to take this, rotate y'all down to my lap. Don't get too excited. And we're going to take this spoon and we're just going to nip that corner off. And what I'm doing is I'm just curling it in with my knuckles. Using my thumb, putting a little bit of pressure, and then I'm just curling it in. I'm not seeing how big of this chunk I can take because this is another cut where it's stressful. It would probably be better coming in like this and using a thumb push, but that's a little too slow for me. And my hands are used to this. And again, like you're learning how to carve spoons, you're super excited. You're gonna put a lot of time in learning this. So as you start to build up your collection and you start to get better, you're gonna notice that you're gonna just want to chill out a lot more. Spoon carving becomes fun. It's addictive. For me, at first, it presented so many challenges that I had to figure out and get the better of. And then I got the better of it. And now it's just so many thousands of spoons later. It's just, this is another day at work. You know what I mean? But it's a fun day at work. I love it when I can sit down and carve spoons. It's an easy day. It's a fun day. It's a relaxing day. So I'm going to take the tip of that knife, swoop in, and just take that corner off, and then I can come back. I can take this, and now I can do that thumb push. I can get that angle right there. Boom. You use a draw technique, where you draw the blade. Now, you're not trying to stab yourself, you're using the handle. And this has got a little point right here, so you feel it as you press it in. That way you know exactly where your blade is. So let's face it, you don't want to stab yourself. That takes the fun out of it. And we're just going to shave that down. Shave that down. You can see the walnut's still really green. It's got a green texture to it. It's got a green hue to it. It's not chocolatey brown yet. Not like that. So deep inside here, it's still nice and green. So you still got your moisture. Do the draw. Now, also, you can do this part of it with the basket maker's draw. So I call this one the basket maker's draw. I haven't seen many spoon carvers do it, but this is a technique that we use in white oak basket making to shave our wood to size. So basically, you just put your thumb on a piece of on your back of your knife, brace your knife, and then you're doing this. So your knife becomes a plane, and then you can twist it, turn it, whatever you need to do. Very gently take it off. This is how I do the bulk of a spoon handle like this, especially on the back, because I like the back to be nice and rounded. So I just take my time, take shaving after shaving. Rub them, rub them, rub them, rub them. Remember, this is the part that somebody's going to handle. So you want to take your time, refine it down. And I don't like to sand. So this guy here needs to be smooth off the knife. And he's got a good feel to him. He's nice and rounded. Gives a nice place for the gives a nice place for the fingers to handle, curve around and grab the back of it. And then also, if you're going to handle it like that, gives you a good place to grip. So we're going to further refine this down. Actually, let's put you here. Can you still see? Yeah. Sorry. So I'm just going to take this, shave this down a little bit more. Shave that down a little bit more because it's still a little wide. And then I'm not going to worry so much about coming back and taking stuff off here to take here. If there's a little bit of a mass right here, that's fine. Because right here is where all the strength of the spoon is, remember. If you're watching others and you're learning, like I said, outdoors or whatnot, all the strength of your spoon isn't here. It's not here. It's right here. And that's where I think the genius of the design of having the ball here and here, I consider it a genius move on my part, but that's just me because we're supporting the crank right here. So typically your spoon bowl comes up, it comes right here on both sides asymmetrically, and you got your piece of wood right there. Well, your weakest part is right there. It's right where this meets, where your neck, your crank, your bowl all meet right there. So by bringing a little part of the bolt in, 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and that's probably about 3/4 or 7/8 or so. It doesn't have to be much, but you're actually supporting this on the diagonal. So your weak spot, instead of going straight across, is now diagonal. So I'll leave that up to y'all, the viewers, to decide if that's a genius move or not. Uh, Leave a comment. Let me know what you think when you see this. I know it's a Saturday morning and I'm doing a live on YouTube. Our lives ain't all the greatest on YouTube, but here we are, still trying it. So we're gonna shave the top of this, and I need the big boy to bring that in. I want to check. I want to check how he is. You'll see he's got a dip right in here. He's got a high spot right there. So what we'll do, take that high spot off, boom, sight down, and he's still got a high spot right here. Sight down. Well, after we take that down, so come back, we're gonna take a slice cut, because this is gonna be very, very controlled.
That is a very rested.
And you see, that is an awful lot better. So we got that. Let's take the corners off ever so nicely. And you can see, I'll have to see how much you can take off. These nice little wispies like that. Love them. Love it. And again, that's where green and the spoon's wanting to change because of that knot right there. So be careful. Remember, once when you see that knot in there, the way that that grain changes around that knot is going to dictate quite a bit in how you carve that spoon or how you treat it. I got a sharp spot right there. Take that off. Take that off. So now you just want to get everything blended in nice and smooth. Now mind you, taking these finest shavings off using a basket making draw is not as easy as it looks. It takes time, it takes effort. But man, does it save a lot of strain on your hand. So I would highly recommend learning the basket maker's draw. It's where learning more than just one trade really is beneficial because you can cross those techniques and get something extremely unique like that draw. For a while there, that draw was very, very unprofessional in the spoon carving world. From what I saw, a lot of people was like, that's not how you do it. But different people, different paths. And this is just another path in the journey. So if you're struggling, learning spoon carving from others, and you're seeing that it's along a very similar path everyone else is taking, and their path just doesn't seem for you, try it this way. What can it hurt you? And besides, it's a very beautiful, very unique spoon, and you can see that we've got it to shape. We've got the handle done. That handle fits super, super nice in my hand, and I got a big paw. So it's super, super nice. Feels great. It's nice and rounded, no sharp edges, no ridges. This is a spoon. This is a high quality cooking spoon in the works, just on that handle. Yeah, you can rotate it. Oh yeah, that's a nice handle. So we show it to you. Flip it around. Boom, boom. Got a nice rounded back. And I like them to have long handles so you can get down into the pan and keep your hand above the pan. Well, above the pan. So now we're gonna do, now you can do anything fancy you want here. You can come in, you can put shoulders. So on this one, on this guy, I'm feeling Do a thumb slice right here like this.
So what are you
Do
doing?
a thumb push technique.
If you're eating grass and there is food right here, we're gonna talk, Missy.
And we're just gonna put a little shoulder there. Just like that. Now mind you, you don't want to do a lot of this. Because you do a lot of this, this is where the strength of your spoon is, regardless if it's supported down here by more wood running lengthways this way. So if you keep coming in, you keep knocking into the structural strength that's right through here, and you don't want to do that. So take that material off very, very sparingly. So we'll do the same thing over here.
Hear that bird yelling at me?
Yes, because
If
you're
you
so.
want to keep to the food.
And we'll just take that until we hit one solid shaving all the way down. So you're not taking off a lot. Maybe take off a little bit more right there. Right there. Take that off. Take that off. Let that lead those into it. Slice it off. Nice and even. And then there's a little detail ready to be enjoyed. So we'll just come in here, chamfer that, chamfer, chamfer. And then we got these X marks right down here. So what we'll do, so we'll just shave that off. And this knife is about ready to be resharpened. So sorry about the rust on that one. It stayed out in the rain. We didn't expect it to rain. So my tools are drying out. So I've got a little piece right there. Bring that in. Boom. So this gives you the opportunity to do all kinds of decorations in through your coal roasting or whatnot. You can do all kinds of carving up the side, or you can just leave this spoon plain. It's really whatever you feel like you want to do, however you want to bring it out. For me, these are just simple cooking spoons that are made for everyday use. And this is going to get very, very beautiful on its own. Look at the shimmer of that thing. See the shine on it? And mind you, it's a green piece of wood.
I definitely need an extra pair of hands. I can't hold this up here and measure it because I don't want to do the sections.
So we'll shave this off, round that over, we'll come back, round this up, and I want to keep these lines right here. So we're going to smooth that in the best we can. Blend that in, blend that over, and boom. Let's do a little bit extra, but there's that blended in. Got this little bit right here I need to take out. Just where the grain, just where the split pulled out at. Little piece of wood dived in there. Walnut's terrible for that. So we'll go back.
So we're gonna do it just
Wait.
individuals instead of. Oh, so we- oh. I thought, is this the only size they had?
Yeah.
Or is this the most cost effective?
This is the most cost effective. I can get 15 of these panels for $400 and some odd dollars. If I get the bigger panels, I'm spending 13 to 15.
Never mind.
Well, just do these panels and
Good.
get that back to me. That is about
So,
what you need.
things trying to change right there. We'll do this. There. And we now have every part of the spoon gone over except for the bowl of it. So this is where you can hollow it out and then come back, carve the back, or you can just take your scissor technique with your big knife, and this is where everyone gets all kind of bent out of shape because we're going to kind of do this, but over here. So we're going to do a push like that, and everyone worries about your arteries right through here, but we're not working in the V. We're working outside of the V. Let me show you. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to use a push. I'm just going to slowly take off, and you can see we're outside of the V. We're outside of a vital V section on our body. So I'm going to use the length of this blade to smooth out the bowl, just like that. Boom. Boom. Look at that. You see I got nicks in here from where I use this thing to cut skin squirrels and wild game. I'm slowly sharpening it all out of there. Come here. And again, my technique isn't always the greatest. I'm aware of that. This is the part where a spoon mule would come in really, really handy. So we're just going to roll this up. Boom.
I don't know if they'll be able to attach this one without destroying it. But it's not wood.
So this guy here,
Yeah,
if we leave him like this,
I think so.
he's going to be a deep spoon. So, but he'll work.
Sorry.
You'll see here.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back and we're just gonna shave off.
No, it's the same material.
Okay, well, we can screw into it. But I'm gonna measure this way. Because I'm gonna set it up right.
Good. Do. Sharpen. These things work.
Why are you using my nail file?
You said I could have it.
Just kidding, I know.
Gotta be resourceful. If you're gonna throw these away when they're still really, really good, Lord, I'll take them.
Really good for nails.
The thing is I've got this, you put this on there, and it's on there.
I feel that you
So,
being on-
And with these things, never cut in. If you pull in, you'll do what I did there. These are good for touching up. Super cheap, super effective. Very, very great. Just got to work with it. You got a shining set. Look at that. Even got a strop. Trash. The wife was throwing that away.
You're
And
doing a good job. This works perfect.
that puts a
But I get these, and if I get them to cut to this size,
razor.
what I do is take my
It's a very nice edge.
sticker on this and
No nicks. So we'll come in here.
then I know which one to get.
Put our facets.
Yeah.
Now,
And once I do
the other way we can do
I've got a
this
little bit of room I can play right or left. Then what we gotta do is cut them off and
is by coming in here. Let's move y'all again. And we can take and put the facets on here with the ads.
They actually now have tambourines attached to your feet.
Keep your tools out of the way. Or not, your other tools will keep them out of the way.
There you go.
Put him out of the way.
Oh, let me get you. No, okay, then give it back.
So,
Let me get you one where you can hear that.
clean this off. Come here, work across the grain. Boom. Of course, we got a little bit of rust on here from setting outside last night in the rain. I forgot to put my tools up, and we went to West Virginia. We came back. Now, mind you, doing it with the ads is a little bit more work, but you don't have to put your thumb out there like that when you do your thumb technique, when you're doing the push technique with the thumb.
So here they are. They go on the top of your shoes.
And then if you're comfortable with the ads, you can shape this thing to its final shape.
You got tambourine shoes. Tambourines for your feet.
there's like that.
We've
Yeah.
got a little hump of wood. Work that down. Boom. Boom. And there. Come back up here. Want to support the bowl. Want to always give it support. And then just work. Put that down, keeping your hands out of the way. Boom. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. There's the bottom of the spoon done. And then you can come back, and I know I wanted to keep those lines, but I'm looking at it now, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend it on in. And again, this part of the spoon, this part of the spoon you can do by adze, you can do by draw knife, whatever. There's so many ways to do it.
Wow.
So if you're doing this and it's hurting your hands, you know, there are other ways. So let's get this back. And what I'll do is I'll just go back. We'll hit some high spots because that is the problem with the adze. When your technique isn't as good as others or as good as it could be, you're gonna have humps here and there. So go back, take your knife. Trim those humps down just like that. Use my little fingers to help push because it is all the hands working together. Even that out, even that out. Work that in. And as I'm cutting, I'm twisting this. So it's not just this hand doing all the work. I'm using my hand here too to twist. So I'll start up here, twist, and just let it cut. Let the knife cut. Because again, you only have one body and you want to use all of it for this. Think of it like you're in a gym. Try to use as much of your muscles as you can. Okay, so boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I think that's from when she was
All
younger.
right,
I want
so
to say it broke and then
you
healed
come here.
that way. I'm not sure when.
Trim that down.
But I
Trim this down
actually,
even more. Just take our time.
her age. It started with the yeast infection she had about 4 years ago. But it's her age. But I got a shampoo. She said to me,
Talking about the dog,
that actually helped me bring it back.
our puppy has been losing hair.
She just needs to get back on it.
All right, so there we are. And now what we're going to do is one of my favorite things. So I want to readjust my angle right here because it's just, it screams too steep to me. It screams that it's going to, that the tip up here is going to do more work than the whole length of the blade here. So I'm going to come back and readjust that. And that to me looks an awful lot better, but we're still going to take a little bit more. And right here's where you want to be careful because keep doing that, you're going to split it off. So come here in the back, around it, and pull that out. And then you get that. So we'll just come back right here, trim, trim, trim. Snip that down, snip that down. Look at it. That looks so much better to me. Other people out there might like that more severe angle, but I like a softer angle. So there we are. And now, what we'll do is we'll come here, round that over. My absolute favorite thing to do is come back, do a chamfer. Chamfering gets rid, if you're having issues with little splits here at the end where your grain pops out, go back and do a chamfer. Do a clean cut, and you'll get rid of all of that. Chamfer, boom, and then you're also defining your bowl's thickness on the rim at the top. So you're doing You're doing your finishing outside cuts right now. And then we'll come back, refine that down some more. Boom, boom. We don't want it to be a razor sharp edge. Boom. And then here, we're going to come back. Got a lot of wood right there to remove. So boom, boom, boom.
I'm just gonna put your bagel inside since you're not going to eat it.
Okay,
If you had told me that you weren't going to eat it, I would have never made it for you.
I wasn't sure I wasn't going to eat it. You know how funny I am about food?
Why did you say make you one then?
Because I was hungry. And then I got to work and I'm not so hungry anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna throw this away.
No.
Yes, it's been sitting out here for like 2 hours.
Okay.
Cream cheese should not be left sitting out in the sun for 2 hours.
Sorry. That'll teach me not to eat. That'll teach me to eat. Oh well. Shave, 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 shave. Come back. All right. There's the spoon. Chamfer. So that is a finished spoon. And then I've got this little bit up here. I've got some cracks. So let me show you what you can do with that. And this is just where I'm the weirdo because it's done. Got a nice clean cut. Well, it is. I'll just go back. Move you back. So I've got
What are you doing? Go on.
clean cut.
Go play.
I'll just chamfer that ever so smoothly. And boom. There it is. Now you can do all kinds of weird things. You can do finials, you can do whatever, but somebody's going to pick that up and be like, how did you do that? And, you know, you can get in here with the knife, clean this up even more. And if you like sandpaper, you know, you can hit this with a little bit of 220, 300, knock the fuzz off of it. There's no fuzz on it, but if it happens around the edges or whatever, you can hit that. I don't really use sandpaper, so it'll take a little bit more off right here because that's too sharp a corner for me. Just gonna round that over a little bit more. One more, boom, and blend it in, boom. There we are. It's nice and smooth, nice and smooth. No knife marks. Boom. Ba-boom. There we are. So now, take a swig of my Sheets coffee. All right, so we're gonna need this guy, and we're gonna need this guy. So the other night I posted up about this guy that I just made up. This is what I call the SK3 Mini. So this is the original Mini. This here's the SK3 original. So this was my first spoon knife that I made over in West Virginia. Threw it in a coffee can forge, made it up. This is out of an old file. I needed something, so I threw it together, and saw that Beavercraft actually nicked the design. And it's not really, I can't say it's my design 100%, because all these tools the designs have been rediscovered, refound, and tools made out of desperation. Well, there's always other tools like it, but this is what I came up with. And this guy here is a smaller version of it. You can see it's got the same design, same concept. Super happy with it. The only problem is that it's got some spring to it. You can see the spring. Take my coffee. Oh, thank God for coffee. Would have been nice with a bagel, but I'm working. So the spring right here hurts it when you're hollowing. So, you know, it cuts really good. It can take a good cut, but you almost have to brace it with the back. And, you know, it's got just enough flex in it to want to make you take your time and not be a hog with it. But this guy here has no flex. So what we'll do for him is we'll just, hopefully you can see. Give you the overhead view. There you go. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. We'll just do that, and you want to make sure to miss your thumb. If not, you're going to cut it. So if you cut it, pull it up. That's where you keep the tape. Cut myself on live. Wow. This thumb's been getting, the skin has been getting super thin anyway. And then fill it. Nicking yourself is paying the toll. Anything on the back, we'll just take off real quick because we don't want it soaking into the wood. You don't want to spread the Bigfoot stuff out, Bigfoot germs to everyone. Cut it off, yada yada yada. Knock that off. Knock that off. And been carving so much lately. My skin on my thumb's been getting small. It's been getting thin. So I used to take a bunch of masking tape, roll it around my finger. So when I did get a nick, I just put the tape on my finger and keep going. So there's the spoon. Grab the tool, and again, you can, you know, take your shirt, roll it up. It's a little bit of blood, it's not a big deal. And this is where everyone's going to scream proper technique, and I'm one of those people, but stuff happens, and you can't be perfect all the time. I'm not going to really worry so much about how pretty my bowl looks right now. I just want to get the wood out of it, and I want to get out to my chamfer. So there we are. And we're getting close to the thinness that I would want. And what's going on here is the grain is changing. Excuse me. So the grain is wanting to take a dive in here because it's getting it's changing. The grain itself is changing through here, and the density as well is changing. So it's trying to carve in more. It feels like it's a little softer out through here. So the heartwood here, back in here, seems to be really daggone. You bleed like a stuck pig. Bleeding is good though. Means your tools are sharp. So after this, we'll just have to chill. Clean, clean, clean. Clean, clean, clean. And this is where we should. This is where we should call it for the live. We'll probably end up burning the spoon. Alright. So just keeps seeping out, don't it? Nip it off. Nip it off. Generally, I'm a little better than this. So I apologize, y'all. Alright. So pick a fresh spot on the shirt. Because we are going to power through this. We are going to get here. And now just take your time. Clean up. And again, if you're new to our live, you know, this is the reason why I don't put this up for kids. If you don't mind your kid watching, don't. By all means, let them watch. It's just, if you're worried about blood, you're probably now feeling a little queasy. You've probably you've probably gotten off the live, or you probably changed it to something else. That's okay. This wood is antibacterial. It's antimicrobial. It's a beautiful thing about using native woods here in Virginia. Using our native woods for this. So a lot of it doesn't like germs and buggies and stuff to begin with. And it's actually designed, the wood itself is antibacterial, antimicrobial. It kills this stuff. And knock on wood, I've not had anybody get sick off my spoons. And I don't want them to. So now we're just thinning this out. Daggone. Like I said, we're using razor sharp tools. This happens. And when it usually happens, I usually put a band-aid on, or, you know, stop carving for a little bit. Where the spoon hook comes in really, will you stop that? And this here is where you're going to, it's where a lot of people would have issues with this style of bowl. But we'll just follow that out. When I started making these like this, it wasn't just to give it added strength, it was also to help have a little bit more room in the bowl. And then I actually noticed that it made the whole connection stronger. Over time, I don't have a lot of people saying that the spoon broke or anything. And they seem to love it, so at least in this part. So if they like the spoon, they like the design, why change it? Alright, so we're gonna flip this around. Am I still bleeding? Yes, I am. Hey, puppy. I know. Clean this up. And again, it happens. So, and now you can come in, come down the grain, smooth. And if you're happy with the way that looks, you can come in, nip that off. I'm just not happy about the blood. That should stop. Alright. So oh, lovely. So we're gonna clean this up, knock that blood off, and get ready to go do something else because we have paid the spoon carving toll man his dues. I don't get cut like this very often, and I hate that it happened on live, but oh well. It happens. The holler I grew up in would say, suck it up, buttercup. Do the final trimming. And there is a spoon. There is a non-bloodied spoon. And now what you can do, this is not quite finished carved. It's close. It's definitely functional. So you can wait or you can come back. You can wait a day or two, let it dry, or you can do what I do all your finished cuts. It depends how many times you want to go over it. You know, we've been at this spoon for just under 2 hours. So this spoon here from start to finish is a 2-hour spoon. And for those watching, who never really knew that I do it all by hand like this, for the most part by hand. You know, these items take time. And I don't really charge that much for it. This would be like a $25 spin. About what people around here would pay for it. So I'm excited about our online, getting our website built. I've said it here, but I went on Wix and I went on ahead and bit the bullet and started to get a website built, and we're blogging and stuff. So hopefully y'all out there who like our stuff, like our videos, and want to support us, will be able to support us live. And for those wondering why I'm always going across the grain, this is the way that I like it best. Go across the grain like this. And you can come in here and swoop down here and get that clean. It depends on what you really want and what you really like. All right. So I'm going to quit finagling with it. And the next step for me is to come in here, roll up so I don't get any blood on anything else. Bleeding has stopped. I'm just going to go around here. And do that. And that shirt's going to try to get in the way. That's okay. Come in here. We'll do this. Knock this down. Knock that out. And then you'll be forever going back and forth cutting, getting it down. Come in here with your little hook and knock that down just like that. Bam. Dare I trust it? Dare I trust it? We'll hook down a little lower than the cut. Now we'll even. Come in here, come in here. Boom, 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 boom. So if you find yourself forever trying to change that on it. Alright, last time. So this spoon is done. I'm going to trim off the last little bit. Again, today's the day that we're paying our dues. And this is how we're also signing our work. People fuss at me for not signing my work. But, you know, my DNA is there. Not on everything, but on the majority of it. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's how you make it in this world, it seems. It's a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. There's a little bit there, and of course, you know, I mean, like, take it down to the level that you feel comfortable, that you want it at, that you like it at. If you want to get it finer, get it finer. If you want to make it a museum quality spoon, make it a museum quality spoon. But what I'm after is a functional cooking spoon that has no blood on it at all, which is increasingly difficult as that cut which was from a razor sharp tool. I've got that little knot there that opened up. So I'm going to chase. Yeah, I'm going to chase that out of there. Make sure I don't go too thin. Go too thin. I'm gonna have to make this into a strainer. That's the other thing, is knowing when to stop. Is it perfect? No. Not by a long shot is it perfect. Roll that up. See, this knife really excels for these cuts. Alright. And again, keep band-aids and stuff on hand, keep masking tape. This is one of those shows where it is now turned into do as I say, don't do as I do. But make no mistake, if you do this long enough, you are going to get sliced. And you can do it whether it's online, whether it's behind the screen, whatever. It happens. Move past it. Alright. So there's where the grain has changed. It's grown together. There was an unknown knot in the wood. So let's go through, clean up the blood one last time. And let's knock that off before it has any time to soak into the wood. Boom, boom. Shave that down. Alright. So there he is. He's a little rougher than I would like, but you get the idea. You know, somebody out there might love him. Somebody out there might not. My fire pit might like him. But we'll see. So there it is. It's ready to dry. Ready for our finishing cuts. And there was no way that this wood was letting us know that there was a massive knot like even here. That was very unexpected because there it's solid. So we'll know next time. That's just one of those things where you learn, is it going to stop it from being functional? Absolutely not. It's just going to add a little bit more depth, a little bit more decorum. But we're going to let this one dry and we're going to set it aside. And technically, I've got another 6, 7, maybe even as much as 10 minutes. So this has been where are we at? We're at what? Ooh, an hour 55. So we're right on track for where I'd want to be price-wise with my stuff. So, like I said, this is a $25, $30 spoon. When we get it online, this should be a $35, $40 spoon, and that'll give us our 13 or so an hour. It'll be at least 10 an hour. So, but somebody somewhere has got to like it. There's no blood on it. You know, if you're carving and you nick and you keep going, why it's embarrassing to be a carver and to be a YouTube carver and to be a live carver at that. You know, it's going to happen. You are going to nick yourself. And you can see that my thumb I've nipped it a couple of times. It's not had the chance to callus back over. So, you know, the holidays is going to be really nice to carve through. and rest after Christmas. But until then, it's time to go get some masking tape, wrap the thumb up, and have a thumb guide here because my thumb is so bloody big, and the way I use my tools, I can't avoid it. You know? I see a little bit right here. I'm not going to even touch the spoon. I'm going to get that little bit right there. A little hook there. Okay, this is a good stopping point. And you know, you can take sandpaper, sand it down a little bit, but this thing is so smooth from the tools. And then the other thing, what I like about these flux cuts is that you can take the back of it and use that hook and burnish your spoon, and just go over it like that, and you'll get it even shinier. And then you got the bowl, take the back, work the bowl down, and where you have it, like my guy here hasn't chipped, that guy chipped from doing this too much, but you can use the back of the tool like this and save yourself buying a burnisher or anything like that. The burnisher is on the handle. But again, there are other artists out there who sell these things and sell the burnishers. So if you like the burnishers, go for it. If you like the burnish look, absolutely. But you're sealing the fibers when you burnish. So when you put a finish on here, burnishing it closes up the pores, closes everything up. So you have to burnish the finish in with it. If you burnish it up just natural like this, you've just closed it. You've just sealed the wood. So you've put a natural finish on it. Burnishing it doesn't really allow a finish to seep in. Paint doesn't stick to it. It opens up the doors for a lot of stuff. I've got a little hair right there, but you see that burnishing it will knock off hairs. It'll expose little places that you missed, and it can help you be a better spoon carver. So I can be happy with that. So that is, in just under 2 hours, how to carve a spoon. And mind you, depending on where you live, their market around you will determine or help you determine your pricing, but this here is a $30 to $35 spoon for me. And somebody talks to me nicely, it's a $25 spoon, but no lower. Or if I'm really, really desperate, 20. But that's it. That's me needing to be out paying a bill. But 35 is going to be the tag on it. And when I usually put it on the tag, it sticks. So yeah. So I thank y'all. It's been fun. It's been real. If you like it, leave me a comment. If you want to leave me words of encouragement, because I am super highly embarrassed over cutting myself. But again, like I said, it happens. It's one of those things that I don't think can be avoided if you're going to be in this line of work. But you can minimize the risk by paying attention to what you're doing, by keeping your tools nice and sharp, and by, you know, not being distracted, paying attention, and keeping covers on your tools, which is really difficult when you're on the live like this and you're trying to keep it in real time. This is how I work every day. This is a real-time spoon with real-time tools. And yeah, so if you want to leave me a word of encouragement, leave me a word of encouragement. I'm super embarrassed, but again, it happens. Sorry for all the blood. But again, that's why this is an adult show. That's why if you're okay with your kids watching it, you know, fine, so be it. But stuff like this is going to happen, and when it happens, they need to be prepared and be aware. So here you are. I hope that you have learned. I hope that I have helped y'all. We have walked through carving a cooking spoon together. This is going to be a really nice cooking spoon for somebody. And I'm going to need to go over it a little bit here and there, maybe work this down a little bit more, but I'm really scared about working this down deeper because if I work it down deeper, it could possibly go through, though I have meat right there. It feels like it's just over a quarter of an inch or just under, right around quarter of an inch. So I've got a little bit of meat to work with, but I don't want this opening up even more. But I know from the back it's not going to, so I should keep thinning this down right in through here, but we're going to let this thing dry, do what it's going to do, because I'm not sure what that is going to do. And if it decides to split the whole spoon, well, then it's going to split the whole spoon, and there goes $35 or so down the drain. And I'd rather lose 2 hours than, spend more time on it and something happened to it. So there we are. I hope that this has been a help. Thank y'all for joining us. And again, we're going to go live. Mr. Fungi. I see I got a comment. Hey, brother, no worries. It's good. We're going to save this video and it's going to be here to watch. But I just wanted to show everybody how to carve a cooking spoon by hand with no power tools, using simple tools and the tricks that I have learned along the way. Like, look at the crinkle on that thing. Like, I kept shaving stuff off of here, so that's because the blood was on there. So unfortunately, that's always going to be there, but we've got beautiful crank. Here's the other side. Get that shaving out of my beard. But we got beautiful crank. It's coming down. Beautiful piece of walnut. It's nice. It's even. It's fairly even with the edge. So we burnished it. Doesn't look too bad on camera, does it? We used the ads to go back. I showed you how to take the ads to do your crank. Like, this has been a very, very enjoyable project. And I'm going to go take care of my cut, clean it up, and then see if I can wrangle that bagel from the wife now that it's about lunchtime. And maybe I might just have to suck it up. Wrestling food. It might be worth the fight. I might go do it. But yeah, that's our spoon. There's our weird little finial from the ads. So big shout out to everyone. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks for the gifts. Thank you for just checking out our social media. If you want to be, I am more active on TikTok. So if you go to the Botching Bigfoot on TikTok, just type in the Botching Bigfoot, it should pull me right up. I tag all of my videos with the Botching Bigfoot. I'm very active live there. And big shout out, big thanks. Thanks for the new subscriptions. Thank you for the family members, all of y'all. It has been a blast. I hope that we have helped you out. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'm more than happy to do more videos on this subject to help address those questions, and we can go through them together. So if you want to learn spoon carving, if you're new to spoon carving, welcome. I'm a spoon carver, and I am a full-time spoon carver. I am a bodger. I am known as Mr. Bigfoot of the Bodging Bigfoot, and this is how we carved a cooking spoon from a block of wood that we just split. And I've showed you the process from beginning to end. So, like I said, if you want to learn more, drop comments, drop a subscription, whatever you want to do. Big shout, big thanks. Much love to all of y'all. Thank y'all for helping us grow the way that you have. I'm terrible at this social media stuff. I really, really am. And I'm not very social. I'm happier being out in the middle of the woods, carving or digging for gold or doing something than I am to be actually being around a lot of people. But that's me. And I'm very, very happy, very, very excited that I have figured out or gotten to the point to where we can go live and have the opportunities to have interactions through a camera like this to teach you how to make a cooking spoon. So, and again, like I said, there's many other makers out there who are teaching this as well, and there's plenty of opportunities and plenty of different ways to learn other than just dipping your feet in and learning the hard way. I've showed you some really cool tips and tricks that help speed up my production. That'll help speed up yours too if you go forward and you take the time to learn it. So, much love, much thanks, and the puppy is ready to go inside. And like I said, I'm ready to go see if I can fight the wife for that bagel that she took inside. Maybe she didn't throw it away. I'm hoping. Maybe she did. If she did, my trash pan is going to come out. I know, I know. Okay, big shout out to everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following. This has been the Botching Bigfoot on how to carve a cooking spoon. Rather ADHD way I'm doing it, but we did it. So if you have ADHD, you too can do this. Cheers.